Super Mario Party Jamboree is so close I can taste it. So these past couple of weeks I've been playing the other Mario Party games on Switch, and today I wanted to talk about 1v3s, where one player goes against 3 other players. Of course, a 3-on-1 with any game doesn't sound very fair, but Mario Party needs to be a balanced game to be fair, so how many of the 1v3s in Mario Party Superstars are actually balanced? That's what I'm looking at today. We're looking through each 1v3 minigame to determine if they lean more towards the solo player, the team of 3, or if they're balanced. Let's get rolling. Piranhas Pursuit. The team of 3 is on a cloud, and ground pounding makes rain fall on Petey Piranha, causing him to run. The solo player is on a skateboard, fleeing from Petey while jumping over obstacles. If the Piranha Plant catches the solo player, the team wins, but if the solo player crosses the gate without being caught, they win. I don't know what the general opinion is on this game, but I'm gonna be honest, this is probably one of the worst 1v3 games on the list. This and another one are probably the worst to me, but we'll get to that one later. But this one definitely does not feel balanced. Probably because it feels entirely up to the solo player on which side wins. The team is just going to spam ground pounds and hope the single player loses. And when it comes to the solo player, you just have to mash B and jump over obstacles, which is pretty easy. I can get through this game easily without hitting any obstacles, and on the rare chance that I do, I can still pretty easily win. Pretty much, the team is on the left side of the screen, and if the solo player can stay on the right, they'll be fine. The way I like to think about each of these minigames is if you took 4 of the best Mario Party players in the world and had them go against each other, who would win? And for this minigame, the solo player would probably win. So this game is leaning more towards the solo player. Tug of War. I don't know why this is a 1v3 instead of a 2v2, but in Tug of War, you rotate the control stick as fast as you can to pull harder. Pull your opponent into the mouth of the Piranha Plant to win. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, I just couldn't win this game. I don't know if I was playing the game wrong, or if I wasn't going fast enough, but if I was the single player, the team of 3 won. If I was on the team of 3, the single player won. Maybe it would be different if I played with 3 actual people, maybe I just suck, but the best I could do was tie this game. So I asked in a community post what you guys thought, if you thought the game was balanced, and I only got one comment from TripleMonkey67, who said Bowser has an advantage by a lot. So I'm just gonna take their word for it and mark this as a single player game. Archer Rival. The team of 3 are panels, and the solo player has a bow and arrow and will try to shoot down the other player's panel. If the solo player can hit all 3 players, they win. But if just one player can outlast the timer, the team of 3 wins. I used to hate being on the team of 3 for this one, but replaying it now, I found it to be a lot more balanced. Specifically, I found it somewhat tricky to win as the solo player. The solo player moves just slow enough to allow the 3 players to move out of the way. The addition of the extra 2 panels can be so freaking annoying to the team of 3 though, like how is that even my fault? But yeah, I found this one to be equally challenging no matter which side you're on, and kinda up there on who wins, so I find it to be balanced. Look Away. Look Away is my favorite Mario Party minigame. It's so simple yet so fun. Basically, the team of 3 want to be looking in a different direction than the solo player when the music stops. If the solo player can get all 3 players out, they win. If not, the team of 3 wins. This game feels balanced to me as it's kind of up to random chance. Sure, if you're fast enough, you can try to change where you're looking at the last second, but it's pretty much up to luck. It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. You may not get anyone out as the single player, or you might get everyone out on one turn. Whether or not you're soloing or in a team of 3, no one side has a massive advantage, which is why I think this one is pretty evenly balanced. Title Toss. The solo player will ground pound a boat in the middle of water, and the team of 3 will try to jump over it. If the team of 3 can outlast the timer, they win. But if the solo player can get them all out, they win. I'm gonna say that this one is leaning towards the solo player. It's so easy to get out, and the hitbox on the waves is kinda ridiculous sometimes. While I personally find it hard to get people out when I'm the solo player, it's even harder to win this game sometimes on the team of 3. So I'm saying this game is leaning towards the solo player. Boulder Ball. The solo player will be at the top of a hill while the team of 3 is at the bottom. If the team of 3 makes it to the top of the hill, they win. The solo player can slow them down by rolling boulders at them, and if no one makes it to the top of the hill, the solo player wins. This one is pretty mixed. I've had games where someone just walks straight up the hill, and ones where they can't even get halfway up the hill. This is another minigame I feel like depends on the skill of the players, and because of that, I feel like this one is pretty balanced. Coconut Conch. In Coconut Conch, the team of 3 will be on top of coconut trees, while the solo player will be rolling in a barrel on the ground. When someone on the tree ground pounds, a coconut falls, and if they hit the solo player, the team of 3 wins. But if the solo player can outlast the timer, they win. This is one that's really hard to win if you're the single player. It's very easy for the team of 3 to trap you, and the speed you roll as the solo player makes it so you probably won't be doing awesome dodges. Now, is it impossible to win? No. But is it easier for the team of 3 to win than the solo player? I think so, so this one is leaning more towards the 3 players. Spotlight Swim. The solo player will be in a pool of water and the team of 3 will have spotlights. If all 3 players can get their spotlight on the solo player, they win. But if they outlast the timer, the solo player wins. Now this one I think is a bit tricky because I feel like if 4 people were playing this minigame for the first time, the team of 3 would win. But if 4 people experienced with Mario Party played this game, it would be more balanced. The reason being, I think this comes down to the solo player as it requires non-stop movement and underwater swimming to avoid the spotlights, which would be more difficult for someone playing for the first time. But like I said before, the way I like to think about each of these minigames is if you took 4 of the best Mario Party players in the world and had them go against each other, who would win? And for this minigame, in that scenario, I think it's balanced. If the team of 3 can work together, they have a chance of winning, but if the solo player is agile enough, they'll win. So I'm gonna say this one is balanced. Hide and Sneak. The team of 3 will hide behind one of 4 objects, and the solo player has to guess which one. This goes on for 3 rounds, and if the solo player can find all 3 players, they win. But if just one player survives all 3 rounds, the team of 3 wins. This is the only time I'm going to compare a minigame in Superstars to its version in a previous game. But in Mario Party 3, you know how when you would choose a place to hide, your character would kind of hang around that area, and if you decided to move, the solo player could hear your footsteps to gauge where you went? Both of those factors make the game a lot more balanced, and none of them are featured here, making it completely up to luck for the solo player to find anyone. On your first turn as the solo player, if you don't get anyone, for the rest of the game, the team of 3 can each hide behind a different prop, and it's impossible for you to win. Sure, some minigames are leaning towards more one side or the other, but none of the other minigames have situations where it's impossible for a side to win. Because of that, this one is leaning towards the 3 players. Goal! The solo player serves as the goalie while a team of 3 are shooting soccer balls. If 10 goals are made, the team of 3 wins. If those 10 goals don't happen before the timer runs out, the solo player wins. Now if you were to do this minigame in real life, get 3 of your friends, you be the goalie and have them kick tons of soccer balls at you, realistically you probably aren't going to be able to stop all those balls. And it's the same deal here. If 2 balls are going for opposite sides of the goal, you can only stop one of the goalie. Maybe if the timer was less, it would be more balanced, but as it is now, the solo player isn't likely to win. While I do think this depends on the skill of the goalie and how many shots the team of 3 don't miss, I still am going to say that this minigame leads more towards the side of the 3 players. Squared Away. In this minigame, everyone is cubes. The solo player is a smaller, faster cube, while each member of the team of 3 is a larger cube. If the team of 3 can squish the larger cube, they win. If the solo player outlives the timer, they win. Now, this is another one I think depends on the skill level of the players. Does the solo player mess up? Do the 3 players work together to corner the smaller cube? It honestly just depends. But if you took some amazing Mario Party players and had them go against each other, I would say it would be a balanced matchup. Tube It or Lose It. I love this one. Everyone is in a tube going down a mountain, but the solo player is in a spiky tube. If the solo player can pop all the other players, they win. But if just one person on the team of 3 makes it to the bottom of the mountain, the team wins. It's a fun game of tag, and considering every player pretty much has the same controls, it's all up to how the players maneuver, making it a pretty balanced game for me. Pogo Aogo. Going to Pogo Aogo, the solo player will go in the center and will have control where the stage goes by spinning it, while the team of 3 go on pogo sticks and try not to go in the holes. If the solo player can make all 3 players go in a hole, they win. But if the team can outlast the timer, they win. I'm gonna be honest, this one may be the most unfairly balanced game, because if the team of 3 are genuinely trying, it's pretty hard to get them to go in the hole. If you go as the solo player and you get one player to go down the hole, go pat yourself on the back. But getting all 3 players probably isn't gonna happen. So this game goes with the games leaning towards the 3 players. Tackle Takedown. The solo player has a football and needs to get to the end zone, but the team of 3 will be trying to tackle you. If the solo player makes it, they win. But if the team of 3 can tackle the solo player, they win. Now, if I was doing this in real life with 3 other people, I would definitely lose, but in Mario Party, I actually think this one's pretty balanced. It's similar to Spotlight Spoon where it entirely depends on the skill of the players, but I feel like the solo player has a pretty good chance of winning, especially if they use their 3 dashes effectively. So I'm gonna say this one is balanced. Lastly, we have Skewer Scurry. The solo player gets to control 4 sides of skewers while the team of 3 have to try and survive. If the solo player can get all 3 players out, they win. But if one team member can outlast the timer, the team of 3 wins. This one was easy. It's leaning towards the 3 players. The skewers just move too slow, so you have plenty of time to react to them. If you're on the team of 3, you can usually just find a good spot to hang out around, so no matter which way they come from, you can dodge in time. If the skewers were faster, this would probably be a well-balanced game, but as it currently is, it's leaning towards the 3 players. So, do you agree? Disagree? Tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, no matter how weird you are, you'll never be as weird as a guy with a pineapple puppy. Yep, I just finished working on the 1v3 video for Superstars. You know, it's actually a lot of fun, but I'm glad I'm to be done with it.
So does this mean you're gonna make one for Super Mario Party and Mario Party Jamboree? Hello? Hello?